We're about to completely shatter pretty much everything you've ever been taught about building wealth. In this explainer, we're diving deep into some incredibly profound concepts from MJ DeMarco's book, The Millionaire Fastlane. If you are totally exhausted by the standard financial advice that tells you to sacrifice your absolute best years for some delayed, uncertain retirement, well, you are in exactly the right place.
Think about this for a second. What if the safe path you were taught your entire life was actually designed to keep you totally average? Most of us never even realize that the traditional formula for wealth is basically just a massive trade. You're giving away your youth, your vibrancy, and your energy, all in exchange for freedom when your absolute best years are already gone. It's kind of agitating when you really think about it, right?
5 for 2. That's the brutal reality of the standard work week. We trade 5 whole days of our youth, our stress, and our energy for merely 2 days of temporary escape. I mean, that is literally a negative 60% return on your time. Most people spend their entire active adult lives just waiting for Friday to roll around. We're taught to accept this modern-day servitude as totally normal. But what if normal is broken?
All right, let's get into Section 1, the Great Deception, also known as the Safe Path Myth. We all know the script, right? Go to school, get a good job, save 10%, invest in the stock market, and then wait 40 tedious years. Society loves to call this financial responsibility, but the fundamental flaw here is that it arrogantly assumes you're going to live forever. It's not a wealth strategy, it's a get-rich-old scheme. Think about it. Wheelchairs don't exactly fit in the trunks of Lamborghinis. Wealth is meant to be experienced when you're young and vibrant, not just when you're at the finish line.
Moving on to Section 2, let's talk about the 3 financial roadmaps and figure out which road you are actually on.
There's an old saying, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. Wealth definitely isn't found by just throwing darts at a dartboard. It requires a definitive roadmap that dictates your exact financial destination. Self-made millionaires, they don't just stumble into a pile of money. They carefully assemble the right puzzle pieces by consciously choosing the correct roadmap from day one.
So, there are essentially 3 financial roads that control almost every human life. First up, we have the Sidewalk. The destination here is poorness, and it's fueled purely by instant gratification. These are the folks trapped living paycheck to paycheck. Next is the Slowlane. The destination is mediocrity. It's fueled by trading your time for a tomorrow that might literally take 50 years to arrive. And finally, the Fastlane. The destination is wealth, and it's fueled by leverage and systems. This is the road where true wealth is created rapidly.
Okay, Section 3. Wealth is a process, absolutely not just an event. A massive lottery win, a viral app, a huge business exit. At first glance, wealth just looks like pure dumb luck. We constantly compare the event against the process, but the thing is, we only ever pay attention to the event. You see the glamorous highlight reel, but you totally miss the years of invisible work underneath it, the long nights coding, the relentless risk, the massive, painful sacrifice. Most people desperately want the reward without actually becoming the person capable of executing that long, arduous process.
Think of it kind of like a master chef's perfect meal. A flawless dish doesn't just magically fall from the sky. It's a carefully fabricated accumulation of tons of disassociated ingredients requiring precise timing and a really well-engineered process of execution. Without that intense cooking process, there's no meal event at the end. The process is exactly what makes millionaires. The glamorous events you see are merely the byproducts.
Which brings us to Section 4. Producers versus consumers. It is time to switch your allegiance.
Literally from the day we are born, society trains us to play for team consumer. We buy products, we watch endless content, we scroll through our phones until our eyes hurt. We're totally conditioned to just demand and consume. But wealthy people, they play a completely different game. They switch their allegiances. Instead of just buying products, they build them. Instead of mindlessly watching content, they design scalable systems. They are the producers of the world.
I really want you to let this profound insight sink in for a second. To consume richly, you must produce richly first. It's that simple. Consumers get poor, producers get rich. If you want the ultimate freedom to buy whatever you want, whenever you want, you first have to serve the market's needs. The moment you reframe your mindset from being a consumer to being a producer, you literally unlock the decryption key to the fast lane.
Section 5. Let's break down the law of scale and how you actually industrialize wealth.
So here is the hidden rule behind all modern wealth. It's called the law of affection. Basically, the rule states that the more lives you affect in an entity you control, the richer you become.
In the slow lane, your income depends entirely on your personal effort, right? Which means you have a hard mathematical ceiling of 24 hours in a day. But in the fast lane, you industrialize wealth. Systems scale, code scales, media scales. When you build a system that scales without you, your growth suddenly has zero ceiling.
1 million. Listen, small numbers just don't make millionaires. The closer you get to the source of really massive numbers, the closer you get to wealth. If you genuinely want to generate millions of dollars, you have to find a way to impact millions of lives. It's a simple formula. Affect millions, and you'll make millions.
Let's head into Section 6, the price of freedom, and actually escaping the system.
We really need to reorient our focus to the ultimate prize here. Look, money is just a tool. The real underlying goal is freedom. It's about owning your mornings. It's about being able to travel freely, spending time with the people you actually love, and living your life without ever having to ask a boss for permission to take a day off. The fast lane is fundamentally about escaping a system that, quietly, day by day, steals your time.
But I've got to hit you with the brutal truth. The fast lane demands extreme responsibility, highly calculated risk, unwavering patience, and massive sacrifice. And you know what? Most people are going to listen to this explainer and still change absolutely nothing. Why? Because they're stuck waiting for that magical, mythical someday. But someday is a horizon that just keeps moving forever. Building a fast lane system requires the courage to hit the red line of pure, unadulterated commitment, starting today.
The amazing news is you hold total control over your financial roadmap starting right now. You are the vehicle. Your choices are the steering wheel, and the exact road you choose to stay on is what's going to decide your entire future.
So the question is no longer if freedom and early wealth are possible. The math completely proves that they are. The real question is, are you willing to take the exit that nobody else will? Are you actually ready to abandon the slow lane and build a life of true, unrestricted freedom? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep producing, keep leveraging scale, and I'll see you next time.